We spend more and more of our time online in a sort of virtual world, but we live in a real world, a world with a mind and a body, and to live life we really need to live as a whole being with both with both mind and body. And learning is best when we engage both the mind and the body. Lego have been quite active in thinking with objects, so from infants through to pensioners, if you like, being creative and thinking with objects. For the technical making, they have got a Lego Mindstorms set, which you can see here, but it's quite intimidating really for the beginner. It's a wonderful thing, but it feels a bit like being thrown into the deep end. There's so many parts. I think this one's got 541 parts, so it can be quite overwhelming for the beginner, and even the introductory builds are quite complex. There's quite a lot of it, and even interpreting the instructions is something extraordinary. So I thought, let's put that away for a minute. And let's simplify the menu, if you like. So here's just 34 parts, and we can build a little robot to get us started in less than 10 minutes. So let's go. Here's the brain. It's the brain part. And basically what we really want to do is get some legs on it, or wheels on it, as fast as possible. So this little design I found on the internet, somebody had already made one, so I thought instead of reinventing wheel, let's have a go. So probably the most satisfying part is putting the tyres together, or putting the tyres on the wheels. That's nice and quick. We've got 2 wheels, 2 tyres. That's done. Okay. I wish I could put my tyres on as quickly as that. Right, so the next bit is to try and fit these wheels onto the legs and onto the brain so we can get something moving. So there is a quicker way to do it, but this one allows us to use some of the extensions that we're going to add later on. So I'll add this support here by sticking these pins into the side of the brain. So pay attention to this bit. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long, 3 down. That's quite important. So it pushes the legs out far enough for what we're going to do later. Okay, so now we want to put the legs on. We can simply put some pegs in, well, they call them connectors. These little black connectors onto the ends here. And that's ready to put the leg. Look at the way the legs go with the notch here pointing inwards towards the brain, and the lower connector. Push that on. Same on the other side. Push that on. Okay, so that's almost the basis of it. Notice it's a bit wobbly, so what we can do is strengthen that a little bit. Put the pegs in. It's a bit wobbly. I always have trouble with this peg for some reason, I don't know why. There we go. And we put a beam across, that'll strengthen it up a bit. Okay, that's also useful for some of the attachments we're going to use later. So we've just got to get the wheels on, simples, get an axle, push it in. Now it's not essential, but it's useful. We've got a little spacer there. It helps stop the wheel grinding against the motor part. And get the wheel on. Again, not essential, but we can put the little end piece on to finish it off nicely. Same for the other side. Put the axle in. Little spacer. Save time if we don't put that in, of course. Oops, put my tyre on properly. Almost as bad as when I do it on my bike. Let's get that on the axle. finish off this little piece. Probably stops the wheel coming off, I suppose. Almost ready. We could drag it along, I suppose, but we've got the little ball bearing part which we can attach to the front. Which we can put on using these. These are really nice little pieces, helpful in adjusting from pieces that you've got to go down and across, and then pop it up there. So that's almost ready. Let's connect up the nervous system, if you like. We'll put the wires, connect them to the motors. So there's the wires in the motors. Let's connect them to the brain. So I'll turn that round. Just put it into brain port A and brain port D. Just like that. So there's a robot. I don't know how long that took. It's probably about 4 minutes or so, like that. I try not to rush it. I'll turn it on. The next problem is programming. Now normally here we get a computer, we've got to load the program on, interface it with a USB cable to the robot. So what I wanted to do was to have it so that you could program the robot itself. So I've developed a little Mindstorms app which I've downloaded into the robot. I call this Buttons. I call it tangible programming because you don't need a computer, it's all self-contained. You can program buttons here by using the buttons, and it's ready. Okay, so the app's already on the robot. I've called it Buttons. It's a pity that the display is very dim, but it's got a number of options which I'll talk about. But first of all, we can try this robot. We can drive it without programming it. I choose one option up, and already it's moving. Okay. Right. That's driving, but we can program it with the buttons as well. That's what this is really about. So there's an option here, Program Me. On this one we've got Make the Program, Show the Program, Clear the Program. Let's go to Make a Program. Same as driving, but remember each option now as a program, as a set of moves. So if I want to do a square, I can press forward. Now it hasn't moved, it's remembered it. Left, forward, left, forward, left. Let's go forward one more, that should do it. So it hasn't made the moves, it's just stored them in its memory. Press the center to stop. I can see my program. One option here. Okay, you can see it playing back the moves, forward, left, forward, left, forward, left, forward. Okay, we're ready. So, let's see what happens if I run it. Okay, we're ready to run, fingers crossed. Okay, oh, I should have put in an extra step there. So I can add to the program there. So that's mostly it. That's the basic thing. You can program basic set of left, forward, backward, left and right movements on there. There's some other things we can do that come in next. For example, we can add a pen attachment to the bottom and get the robot to draw. Or my favourite at the moment is we can add, simple to make again, a kind of gripper attachment. Maybe I'll call this robot a gripper or something like that. So we can go and pick things up and move them around. Or looking forward to using this, we can attach that a set of eyes with an infrared sensor so that we can then get it to move and detect objects. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for watching.